Here in the UK, many are returning to work with Brexit on their minds. MPs are not back in Parliament yet, but as soon as they are, the political turmoil over the Prime Minister's withdrawal deal will take centre stage again, with a vote expected this month. Well, we have Brexit regular with us this morning, research analyst Stephanie Hare. Lovely to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So the front page of the Financial Times has Brexit, bad or awful prospects in the year ahead, say their top economists. This is something they do every year, the FT. They sort of get a survey of all the top economists to get a sense of their thinking for the year ahead. It's not good reading, is it?
Well, it's interesting. So the UK economy grew at 1.5% last year, and what they're saying here is that the best we can hope for is more of the same. So 1.5% again, that's their best case scenario. They also think it could be a lot lower than that. And it's really important for us to remember that before the vote for Brexit, the UK economy was one of the most top performing in the world. So we already took a huge hit just after having that vote. Now it's about uncertainty. It's really difficult to quantify. Well,
what they're saying as well, which I thought, completely made sense to me, was we can't predict what's going to happen this year. I mean, we all know anyway that it's a real nightmare to make predictions at the beginning of the year, because quite often we're wrong, and economists are always asked to say what's going to happen in the year ahead, and quite often they do get it wrong. But they're saying actually we can't forecast 2019. They're saying it's impossible given the comprehensive and chronic uncertainty. They say it's become a way of life in the UK.
I mean, I think anyone living here would recognize the truth of that statement. It's really difficult because we know from January 14, sometime that week, we're going to vote on the Prime Minister's deal. And if that gets accepted, fine, then we have certainty. But if Parliament rejects it, then what? Do we try and go back and negotiate? The EU has said, that's it, we're done. But that could just be politics. So this could go right down to the wire. We could be talking about this all the way up until March 29 with all sorts of out of left field things like asking for an extension, revoking Article 50 entirely, having a second referendum. How do you plan as a business?
From your perspective, being a political analyst, how do you feel it's being handled? Because and there's been so much criticism, of course, but at the same time, many are saying, well, this is one of the most enormous decisions that this country will make for generations. It's got to go through a process of proper democratic process. And your thoughts on how it's being handled?
I mean, somebody in this country coined a wonderful word a few years ago, which was just omnishambles. It feels like omnishambles. But I also think since 2016, we've all learned to just be really resilient. I mean, most people living here are frustrated, regardless of how they voted, but are also just getting on with it. So I think we're going to muddle through.
What do you think is going to happen? I know this is a very hard question for you to answer, but your thoughts? I mean, we can't even see what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks, really, can we, with the vote?
No, I mean, and also I think as an analyst, it's really careful. You have to be really careful. There's what I think is going to happen versus what I, as a person, would like to happen, and I think at this point I am too prejudiced in my view.
I won't force you on that then.
Thank you.
Stephanie's coming back. Stephanie's going to